All right. Happy Monday, everybody. So good to see you. Happy Thanksgiving week. Already the holidays are upon us, and that is crazy. Anyone else like, whoa, where did that come from? Like, so quick. Yeah, so quick. So, with Thanksgiving, I hope you guys have a wonderful time with friends and family. It's just a great time to reflect. And I always think how thankful I am for all of you and for our team and our community and what we've built together. Oh, thanks, Kelly. it's it's just a great time to be grateful, and I am definitely grateful for all of you. So I just wanted to start our call off saying that Black Friday coming up right this week, and if you were on the call earlier, there's some exciting stuff. So I'm not going to take this whole call to go through it because you can see it. It's also going to be posted on the Plexus Ambassador community page. So if you're looking for graphics, details, all of that. But the idea is that they, gave us the information early so that we can make our lists, have people ready that we want to talk to, put some teasers out there on social media. But I would encourage you, don't give everything away until Black Friday. Keep a little suspense going. And this, like the call they did with Genevieve and all that, that's what the Jewel preview is kind of like every single month. They give us all the details, but they're like, don't spill the beans. Like, wait, just drop little hints, create that excitement and that suspense. And that creates a lot of intrigue and people watching. So put it in your stories, like the little teaser. You've got all the graphics and stuff, but just drip it out over the next couple of days. More than anything, I would encourage you guys to make your lists and have those people ready to go. So potentials, your current customers and team, your people that have partial PV, like they've ordered, but it's less than 100 PV, because not only do we have all the exciting products, but we also have a steal the deal on Friday. I'm going to run that from 8:30 to 9 p.m. and it will highlight the new stuff, the Black Friday release, but also, yes, make your list and check it twice. Exactly. We're also going to do deals on like Triplex and other systems, like other, things that your current team might want to take advantage of. So get your list ready. You've got all week, lots of time to do it. Okay, jumping in, I do want to spend some time on talking about boundaries and barricades. And I was thinking about this before we went to Leadership Excellence last week and just kicking some ideas around. And I feel like it really resonated with some people. So I want to talk to you about that. And then I just picked up so many good things. I know Victoria did too at Leadership Excellence. Like this whole book that they gave us is the notes from the sessions. Like there was so many sessions. Literally every single one of them needs to be a team call because I've got to share like everything with you. So Victoria and I are going to be doing that. We're going to take this awesome training that we got. We are going to regurgitate it because it was so valuable and the trainers were amazing. And I need you all to promise me that when you hit Emerald, you're going to go to Leadership Excellence. Just like any other travel, all those like, oh, it's going to be hard. Got to leave the baby. I got to get there. No, go. It was the most incredible training, back to back sessions. Like it was awesome, right, Victoria? Like you have to go. Yeah, best sleep I've had in 4 months. Yeah, you get your own room. Yes. You get to be by yourself in a hotel room, which is like, my mom's like, no, okay, mom, I'll go and I'll sleep with you. And but it was so the good. Training was incredible. Yeah, like the diamond trainers, they choose a panel of trainers that really have, like, not only are they successful, but they are like one Plexus people. They have like the heart and the soul that Plexus wants to see in its ambassadors. So like they are just top-notch, high character, high integrity people. It was so great. Okay, I could just spend the whole call on that. But what I wanted to talk to you about is something that we covered when we were talking about ebbs and flows in your business. That was one of the sessions. And after being in this business for 5 years, I've been through some ebbs and flows, right? A lot of us have. We've been here a while. And this is talking about momentum, right? There's ebbs and flows in momentum. And I really feel like looking at what we have going on now, that momentum is coming soon. There are certain signs and things when you kind of like see the stars aligning and you start to get this feeling like, oh man, I think we're about to enter a time of high momentum. So I want to talk to you guys a little bit about an analogy that I think is helpful, and also what might hold you back from experiencing momentum when it comes. Because the worst thing would be for the whole team to be in momentum and you kind of missed it, right? You weren't prepared for it. So we've all heard the analogy that momentum is like a wave, right? Have you guys heard that? Like, it's like a wave, right? It just kind of comes. And I've said before, we don't want it to crash over us. Like, you want to be prepared for it. So Emily Fennell was talking about momentum being like a wave and us being like surfers. Okay. So I don't know if we have any surfers here, but she had a surfer friend that she was talking with. And, when you're surfing, are you on the wave most of the time? No. What are you doing for the majority of the time when you're surfing? You are literally sitting in the water, right? Like, you see surfers, what are they doing? They're just sitting there. They are sitting there and they are waiting. 99% of a surfer's time is spent sitting in the water, and only 1% of the time is riding the wave, okay? Yet when you look at a surfer, are they like super antsy and upset and impatient sitting on their board because there's no wave yet? No. What are they doing? They're enjoying the water, right? They're looking around, they're enjoying the water, they're anticipating the wave. They know it's coming. If they weren't 100% sure that there was a wave coming, they wouldn't be sitting out there. But they're also not upset and all irritated that there's no wave yet, right? They are just simply enjoying being on the water. And this can be the same in our businesses. This can be true in our businesses. We can anticipate the wave, know it's coming, and we are there for it, but still be fully present and enjoy our business and our life and sitting in the water even when momentum isn't happening. Like, we don't have to be jamming all the time. And in fact, if the surfer was riding the wave the entire time, would that be fun at all? No. Your adrenaline, like those like excited hormones, stress hormones, would be like raging through your body. It would be completely not sustainable and it would be miserable. Can you imagine if you never got out of the wave? You'd like have a panic attack, right? Like, it would not be good at all. So it's that 1% of like, yes, the wave is awesome. I love the wave. And then also getting back out, sitting in the water, being present and being okay. It is okay to enjoy your business even when there's not like high momentum happening. There's still so many good things to do. And in that session, she goes through like, what are some things you can do when it's not a high season of momentum? You can focus on personal growth. You can look for gaps in your business and try to make some of your systems better. You can spend time expanding your network. Like, there's a whole bunch of things that you can do when you're not in high momentum that shift when you are in momentum. You are in tons of three-way chats, you're on the phone more, like there's less time. You can also spend more time focusing on your family, your personal life, like reading all the bedtime stories to your kids that you maybe can't do when you're in high momentum time. So I just wanted to give you that analogy, like, you want to enjoy the water, whether it's a wave coming or you're just here for it, like enjoying the water, working on your team, doing the things, that is totally fine. But to take that analogy just a step further, when momentum is about to come, we see signs of it. Just like the surfer is sitting there, they're looking for the wave, right? And they know the signs, like the water starts to change, they see the swell coming. And in that moment, the surfer has to make a decision, right? There is that moment where he has to decide, is he going to paddle like crazy to get in front of it, right? You see him when that wave starts to come, what do? Hustle, hustle, hustle. Like, they are trying to get in front of it so they can ride it, or they can sit there and just take the little bump of the swell and watch it go, right? They have that moment where there's the choice. Am I going to ride this wave or am I going to let it pass by? Either way is okay, right? No one's judging him if he lets the wave go. Maybe it's not his time. Maybe he's not quite ready to ride it. But if he's ready or she's ready, boom, get in front of it. And it might take a burst of activity to get you in front of that wave. So I really feel and I see signs that there is a wave coming for us. We have a lot of things aligning. We've got Nicole and Shannon just crushing it for us with our IPA challenge. So they're doing a fantastic job, and shout out to you guys. Awesome. So that's getting a lot of us in action. We've got Black Friday. We've got end of the year. We've got New Year's, which, guys, January is typically a very high momentum time for our team, for health and wellness companies, right? Like New Year's resolutions, hello. And I just want you to be thinking, okay, these things are lining up. Am I ready to catch this next wave, or do I want to let it pass by? If you want to let it pass by, that's okay. But I know I'm ready to catch the next wave, right? I am ready. And so I'm looking around, I'm checking the temperature of the water, and I'm like ready to paddle like crazy. And that's going to mean a little bit of extra work. And maybe I'm going to, work really hard for a short burst. You can do that. It's not good to hustle all the time, right? We have to have boundaries. We have to have rest. All those things are super important. And that's where I'm going. But there also is a time to get at it, right? There is a time to work hard for a short period of time so that you can get in front of that wave and catch that wave of momentum. Okay. So little self-evaluation you can do. Ask yourself, am I ready to catch the next wave, or do I want to let it pass by? Yeah, Victoria, do you want to share that about communicating with your stakeholders?
Yeah. Just real quick. So on this note, right, we know, just like Britt said, momentum is not always there. We're not always in, adding a bunch of people, all the things. But I forget who it was. Anyway, they said, make sure that you communicate this with your family, with your shareholders, whatever you want to call them, because, bedtime is something that is super important for like a lot of us moms, and just being present for our kids. But they communicate with their family that, okay, mommy is going to be in high momentum for probably the next couple of months. Like there might be some times where daddy has to put you to bed instead of me, and just communicating that expectation ahead of time, because they know that it's not going to last forever. And it's just going to be maybe a few weeks, maybe a month, maybe 2 months, right? But that it won't be forever. And so I just thought that was so good. Just like my kids know on Monday nights, like daddy puts them to bed. I give them a kiss, I give them a hug, I love them up, but then it's bedtime. So I love that. Just remembering to communicate with your family about your goals and what you're doing and getting them involved.
Yeah, so important. And I think Kyle Rainey talked about that. And guys, he has 9 children. Okay, 9, like 9. He has 9 children. Several of them have special needs. They're adopted, and him and his wife are both diamonds. So I think it gets busy over there, right? Like if I'm just going to guess, it gets busy over there. And he talked about this concept of sharing with your stakeholders. And also he reminded me of the concept of trade-offs. No one's asking you to sacrifice for your business, right? We sacrifice things. There's nothing in return when you sacrifice, right? Sacrifice is doing something out of the goodness of your heart with no expectation of return. And there are times to sacrifice for people, right? A lot of times it's a wonderful thing to do, but in your business, you don't have to sacrifice. It's a trade-off. And so he said, he explains to his kids like, hey, I am going to be at every basketball game that you have, but I'm not going to be at all your practices. And that's a trade-off, because that's going to allow us to go on this family vacation together. So we're going to trade this time here that I'm not even really going to be able to talk to you for this really awesome family time where I'm going to be totally unplugged and we're going to have a blast. Like he communicates that with his kids. And I thought that was awesome, like those trade-offs. So this is like a perfect segue, because we're going to talk about boundaries and barricades. Okay. So the boundary is like, I'm going to be present for all my kids' basketball games, right? Whatever, insert child sport, whatever it is, I'm going to be present for those. That's a boundary that I have. But a barricade would be like, I have to be at every single practice. I can't ever look at my phone. I'm not going to allow my spouse to help at all. Like there is a big difference between having a healthy boundary and setting up a barricade. So as I was thinking through these, I jotted down a few, because I think in the name of boundaries, a lot of us create barricades that keep us stuck and keep us from getting to the success that we really want to see and what we really want to accomplish. Boundaries are healthy. Barricades are destructive. Okay. It's really just a form of self-sabotage that keeps us from reaching our goals. Because remember, our brains want to keep us safe, right? Our brains are the little protective big brother that just want to keep us safe. So I'm going to give you some examples, and maybe these will resonate with you, but it's personalized, right? Like your boundaries and my boundaries are not the same. But I think it's really important that you think through them and ask yourself, okay, is this a boundary, or am I creating a barricade? Am I just self-sabotaging? I'm unwilling to make a trade-off here. So a boundary, an example could be, I only do calls 2 nights per week, okay, or 3 nights per week, whatever your personal is. A barricade would be, I am never willing to do an evening call, right? Can you see how that would sabotage your business? What if you have a a new person who wants to join and they can only chat at night, right? That could be a barricade. A boundary, I need to make sure I get enough rest. A barricade would be, I'm unwilling to wake up early to get my IPA done. And I'm going to ask Shannon to share. I've been putting you on the spot. Okay, good. You commented anyway. Tell us, Shannon, tell us your journey.
I already typed that in because I knew it was coming. I'm just like, I'm going to shoot that over as soon as Brittany just yells my name out for that one. You should have just been like, this one goes out to Shannon. So for like a year or more, I would get on coaching calls with Brittany and we would talk about my morning routine over and over and over and over and over again. And I'm like, Brittany, do you hate me yet? Do you just want to come through the screen and strangle me because I am like a brat? But seriously, I just was like, why do I need to get up early? I don't have any kids to wake up and put on the bus. Like, I just want to snuggle with my puppy in my bed. It's warm, like all the stupid excuses. I have plenty of time throughout the day. Like I don't need to get up early. I don't need to be up. I just didn't think I needed to be up any earlier. I just didn't. But it's been what, Nicole, about almost 2 months now that we've been getting up early, 6 a.m. and just doing the things. And it is so awesome to just be ahead of my whole day. Like, I just feel like my day is set up so much more for success than it was before. And I just literally was standing in my own way. I don't even know why. So literally, like when Brittany shared this concept with me, I was like, I literally had a morning barricade. Like I didn't care what she told me about it. I had built the barricade so high that like, I didn't care what it was going to do for my business, but really it was just holding me back. And it was just, time that I could have, even if I just spend the time in the morning doing like my gratitude and reading or whatever it is, like personal growth stuff. It doesn't mean I have to hop out of bed and like send all the messages right in the morning, but it was allowing me to like fit all the things. It's allowing me to fit all the things in my day that I want to, because I would come to her and be like, well, I didn't have time to do this. I didn't have to. Well, did you get up early, Shan? No. So yeah, that's basically it. And it took a while. So I know I've talked to a couple of you about like, you're, trying to get into a morning routine, and just give yourself grace and just keep working at it. Like if it's something you want to do and we're telling you it's something good for you, then like, don't give up on yourself too soon. Just keep working at it and, talking yourself out of hitting snooze, and just every day, just work towards it. You'll get there.
Yeah.
It took me
I love it.
So I have something
Thanks
to
for
add,
sharing.
if you don't mind. Can I?
Go ahead. Yep.
So I'm going to shout out Deborah because she's been getting on with Shannon and I, and our mornings, sometimes they're not pretty. Sometimes she's sitting there snuggling her baby, sending messages, trying to, figure out posts and all of that stuff. But she's utilizing the time that we have to get things done and bouncing ideas off of Shannon and I. And sometimes Kristen's on there. She's starting to do that too. And so I'm just super proud of her for that. But also Kelly has a morning routine. And can you see me? Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Okay.
And see you.
Went black. Kelly wakes up early, and when we're working at 6 a.m., she's out walking at 6 a.m. So there have been huge strides for so many people on our team already, and we just want to keep that going. So anyone who wants to join, reach out. We would love to have you.
Love it.
And I also just wanted to say this too, because it's kind of related, but I don't know if you have to remember when we were doing morning rounds. Okay. And when we were doing morning rounds, I was getting up in the morning for all of you because I wanted all of you to hop on morning rounds with me. I wasn't waking up for myself. I hated every second of getting out of bed for all of you. Okay. But I was trying to love it, to get myself into a routine. Okay. And I felt like it wasn't going so well. But now that like I'm getting up for myself and I'm creating this routine for myself, it's becoming attractive for other people. And they're like, oh, I want to join you. I want to do that with you. So just like, long story short, like, I think your team will follow you and do things that you're doing if you're doing them for yourself. If you're not showing up for yourself, then why is somebody else going to do something that you're not willing to do for yourself?
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense? So that was like a realization of mine too, that I'm like, I'm here for myself, and whoever wants to come with us, like we're here for it. So I just thought that was an interesting point of view.
That's awesome, Jan. Yeah. And props to you for being coachable, right? Like I had to say it a bunch of times, but you received it and you worked towards, and like guys, 1% better every day, right? Just like 1%. It's not like your morning routine has to be perfect. Or if your goal is like 5:30 a.m. and it's 6:15, like whatever, it's fine. 1% better every day. If we get 1% better every day, you are 38 times better by the end of the year. Like take yourself times 38. That's how you'll be at the end of the year if you just 1% better every day. So don't feel like you have to overhaul your life. Just make the next little choice that's going to move you in the right direction. Okay. So the morning thing, I know that is a barricade for a lot of people. Just think about it. Just evaluate, right? Because everybody's different. Maybe you need a night routine, but what is your reason behind not showing up? If it's, well, I just can't get up early. Can you really not, or is that a barricade that you can tear down? Or can you find like some focus time during the day? So that is a great example because it really resonates. And I am super proud of you guys for getting in the routine. It's awesome. Another boundary barricade that came up as I was just going through, like ones that I've had and had to work through is, I want to be present with my kids. That's a great boundary. If I say my kids can never see me on my phone, that's a barricade. Okay. Personal example. Another one that I recently had to work through is this feeling of overwhelm with Messenger. Okay, as you guys can imagine, I get a whole lot of messages, which is a wonderful thing. Like we have 2,000 people on our team. So my phone's like ding, 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 ding. And I used to get almost like anxiety and this feeling of overwhelm because of Messenger. And then I realized that overwhelm is a choice. I can choose to be buried in my messages and all upset and crazy about it, or I can have scheduled time where I answer messages and then everything else just has to wait because I'm homeschooling my kids or whatever. That feeling of overwhelm for me was a barricade. I was setting that up so that when it was time to get to work, I had this obsessive need to clear all my chats and like answer all the things before I could actually like do something productive. And that was a barricade, slowing me down big time, right? So sometimes these are just mental things that you have to see, like you just have to make a decision. I decide not to be overwhelmed by Messenger. I'm just deciding that, right? And you can look at the thought you're having and say, oh, thank you, right? Thank you, brain, for like trying to keep me safe there. Of course, right, Victoria? Of course I want to answer everyone. Of course I do, but we've got to do this first, right? Like realizing the thoughts that you're having and that you can actually choose a new thought. We've talked about this so much, right? Like dig a new trench. We get in these ruts with our thoughts and your brain takes the path of least resistance. The familiar thoughts that's the way you're going to go. If you want to pick a new thought, it's going to be like digging a trench or like a machete in the jungle, blazing a trail. But yeah, exactly, Shannon. Doing IPA is not clearing Messenger. That is not the kind of activity that is going to help you out, right? There's a time for it. I do need to answer people, but it's got to be a set time. It's not the first thing I'm going to do all the time. So that's just personal example. The other one I see a lot, guys, is victim mindset. Victim mindset is a barricade. This is going to pop up for me, for a lot of people, and this can absolutely impede your growth. So here's some warning signs. If you have these thoughts, my life is so much harder. That's why I can't XYZ. It's harder for me than her. I have this and she doesn't, right? If I didn't have this, then I could be successful. Guys, I guarantee you there's people that have walked through birth, death, moving, sick parents, crazy kids, whatever it is, and still grew their business to diamond, right? I think of the Rainies. I have 4 children. They have 9. They're both diamonds, right? Somebody's doing it. But it's because they chose not to have a victim mindset about their circumstances. Alita, fantastic example. Yeah, widowed, 4 little kids, she just decided she was going to figure it out. So do not let your circumstances and like if you hear that voice in your head, just see it as victim mindset, right? And again, thank you, brain. Thank you, brain, for trying to keep me safe, but that's not helping me out right now. Like that's actually slowing me down. That's a barricade. Another one is comparison. If you're letting comparison with other people stop you from doing the things, that's a barricade. Being uncoachable. If you're completely unwilling to take constructive criticism, that's a barricade, right? These are things that our brain puts in there to keep us safe, but really they are barricades. They slow us down and they stop our growth. The definition of a barricade, it's a defensive barrier. It's to obstruct or block, to shut in and defend. Okay, I looked it up to make sure we were clear. You put these things up because your sweet brain wants to keep you safe, okay? It's a defense. So we have to learn to see them, thank our brain for the help or trying to help, and then tell yourself it's not helpful. Take those barricades down. Remember what Shannon taught us about the easy hard paradox? You're trading what feels harder now because it's actually the easier choice, right? When you drop the victim mindset, it's actually going to propel you forward to an easier situation in the future, okay? So we are just about out of time, but I'm sure you guys can think of other examples. It really just starts with awareness. Think about your boundaries. And guys, you do need boundaries. Like, no one loves boundaries more than me, honestly. Like, after I do my morning routine, I leave my phone in this office and I go in the other room and do homeschool with my kids for like 4 hours. Like, that's a boundary, right? I have to have that time. So I'm not saying don't have boundaries. Absolutely have them. But I want you to think through your boundaries, write them out, like figure them out and ask yourself, is it a boundary or is this a barricade? And sometimes that flip is just in your mind, right? I'm overwhelmed with Messenger. Oh, that's a choice. I don't have to feel overwhelmed. I choose not to feel overwhelmed. I'm not going to let that, impede me and be a barricade. So take away, think through your boundaries, make sure they're not barricades. And one question that I love to ask when I'm doing coaching calls with you guys is, what are you avoiding right now that's keeping you from growing? Because a lot of times, we know what to do, but there's a reason we're not doing it, or there's something we're doing that we really need to stop. And sometimes letting go of something can be that next step to growth and getting where you want to be. So think on that question. What am I avoiding right now that I know would cause me to grow? Because to kind of circle back, guys, momentum is coming. We've got Black Friday, we've got Steal the Deal. I really feel like it's time to be looking for that wave and anticipating it and getting paddling to get yourself going. And so you want to throw off any weights that are holding you down. And that's those barricades. Like, let's get rid of them. Get your wetsuits on. Strap up, girls. We're ready. And there's nothing quite like putting on a wetsuit. I mean, I experienced that for the first time recently. It's it's something. But anyway, you guys, that's all I got for you. I hope that was encouraging. I hope you guys are excited for this week, for Thanksgiving with your families. Enjoy some unplugged time. Be with your people. Just be grateful. Reflect on all the amazing things that have happened this year. And then get ready to hit the ground running, because I really think we got good stuff coming. So thank you guys so much. Love you all. And I'm grateful for you. I hope you have a great night.